A frozen housing market for the country. And again, your buy box could be different, but I'm talking nationally. If it's frozen, we win. The investor
Yep.
wins. We write a bunch of offers. Most of them we get told to pound sand because it's a want to sell, not a need to sell. But you'll get 20% counters, 10% count, 40% counters. That's where you get to sense the motivation. And again, I want you to hear me here. A counter is not a guarantee that you're going to get a deal. Folks, this is the time where you do the work, you find the motivation, and we win. You guys won't believe it. I just checked the 10-year note. It's up 13 basis points, which again, if you don't know the 10-year note, it typically doesn't move that much. What this means for you and I as a real estate channel is rates are getting worse. Rates are getting worse. Oh, by the way, in the slowest part of the season, we are now July 1st. Congratulations. Half the year is over. I got to talk to Matt first. I don't get it. I haven't seen any data. Is this the bond vigilantes getting nasty with it? Is it debate fallout? Dude, I have no idea. I did not expect.
I came in the office this morning. I glanced at it. I jumped on a call. So I couldn't tell you, like last week, we were wondering like, why are rates higher this week? Because there wasn't a lot of action. One thing I looked at during my last call, which I think is really interesting, is that rates are higher and we can't figure out why. But then if you look at the predictions for rate cuts throughout 2024, like the amount of people that think we're going to have 2 rate cuts, that went from 33% to like 50. So like we think long-term, the Fed's going to cut rates, but like short-term, for whatever reason, the 10 years up and rates are up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, Mike.
Well, yeah, again, when we step back, it's always fun to predict and do all these things, but we've got to realize higher 10-year note equals higher mortgage rates. I think we've been hovering around 7.1. Moves like this, you could expect by the end of the day, we're gonna see a healthy move in mortgage rates today, I think.
Yeah, at least from like 705 to 715 or something. We'll like
It'll be a move.
as it stands, 14 basis points on the 10-year, 35, 40 basis points on mortgage bonds, about 1/8% of, real interest rate. So if you, depending on credit score and everything, if you had 6.875, you're probably 7. If you had 7.375, you're 7.5. Like you said, rates don't generally move a full 1/8 in a day. If they do, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And they've been relatively flat. So we'll see.
Folks, at the end of the day, remember, higher mortgage rates means you need to offer less. If you're chasing a return, cash on cash, yield, return on capital, whatever metric you want, you've got to know your numbers. That's the big thing I'm trying to get people to realize. As the market slows down, it will get easier to find motivated sellers. But I went on this rant today on the Daily Financial News. I'm going to do this and I'll go to you next, Ty. I got a lot of people reaching out to me going, Michael, you're right. I got a $20,000 reduction in list price, which first off, I have to appreciate. The last couple of years, you were paying 20 grand over. So I understand the thrill of getting a 20K discount. But hear me, there is no guarantee in my world that a 20K discount is enough. If you're not doing the math and understanding what an average deal and only doing great deals, I'm not going to be impressed with a 20K reduction. I know it feels good. I know you've written 100 offers and got nothing, but I'm here to tell you 20K might not be enough. Ty, what's going on in real estate?
Just like you said, man, the second half, these interest rates matter, and we are seeing a frozen market. We're seeing longer days on market, price reductions. We are moving inventory, which is great. Had several deals that were not moving, a little bit of price reduction, a little bit of buyer concession. I think to your point, something you said the last couple of weeks, this is our time. This is the time we've been waiting for.
That is what I want people to realize. A frozen housing market for the country. And again, your buy box could be different, but I'm talking nationally. If it's frozen, we win. The investor wins. We write a bunch of offers. Most of them we get told to pound sand because it's a want to sell, not a need to sell. But you'll get 20% counters, 10% count, 40% counters. That's where you get to sense the motivation. And again, I want you to hear me here. A counter is not a guarantee that you're going to get a deal. Folks, this is the time where you do the work, you find the motivation, and we win. You should be getting excited right now. What do you think, Ty?
Spot on. I think for sure that, there's a lot of opportunity. I looked at deals that have fallen out of escrow 2 and 3 times. Other realtors are calling. That's really rare too, that I get a call from another realtor saying, hey, you should really look at this. It's fallen out of escrow 3 times, whatever the case may be. This is going to be a good market for those who've continued to do the work, also who really understand the buy box and understand the shifting market. So lots of opportunity, I think, in the second half.
Yeah. Matt, you're a team buyer. You talk to agents, buyers each and every day, each and every week. Have you noticed a tone difference in the buyers? Maybe they're being, I guess I'll ask it this way. I think as we get closer and closer to the election, we're going to see more and more buyers sit it out just because it's too hard.
Yeah, buyers are generally speaking, not rushing into anything, right? And so buyers have done that for a while. But what I wanted to say, because I think it's important, is like you said, I'm a team buyer, and real estate agents are my partner in this. And so I talk to real estate agents every single day. I want to understand as much as possible about what they have going on, the conversations they're having with buyers. And so last week, I intentionally went out and started conversations with agents. And while there is this slowdown, interest rates are higher, stuff staying on the market, some things are falling out, you can get a deal. It's wild because at the same time, agents are seeing certain stuff hit the market, multiple offers. It was at 599. Their 621 didn't get it. It went to 625. And so a great agent who I know has followed this specific market we were looking at for 15 years was telling me, Matt, it's wild. It's like a tale of 2 markets. 4 blocks over, worse condition, bad layout. It's not perfect. It's already sat for 47 days. It's going to continue to sit. This one, the street that people want to live on, the layout that people like, nice upgrades that people like, I can just move in and turn the key. It's going to sell fast and sell at a premium. While the place down the street is just sitting. So I think for investors, and the funny part is we had an investor trying to buy the nice house. I want to tell the investor, if you want a deal, there's not so much inventory that you're going to be able to get a deal on everything. Deals come to the homes that don't have a lot of action, and the homes that aren't, priced well, or they don't show well, or they have some deferred maintenance. Those are the ones that you're going to go out there and write an offer and get a great deal. But don't expect to say, hey, rates are high, things have slowed down, I'm going to offer below ask or get a screaming deal on this home, because it's just not happening. At least the markets that the agents I work with are active in.
Yeah, I want to remind people about a conversation you and I had last week and bring Ty into this, because this is exactly what I want my audience to look at. You stumbled across a listing, 88 days on market, 3 price reductions. You asked some initial questions, found out the sellers own it free and clear. Folks, that's a clue. We call that a clue in the industry. And so there's clearly motivation. You don't have 3 if you're having 3 price drops, you're motivated, right? If you're on the market 88 days in a market where the average is 14, you're motivated. If you own it free and clear, there's certainly opportunity to be creative. Those are the kind of deals that I want my team to uncover. I want them to find that motivation, because again, if I was interested in that property, I would bring 2 offers. I would bring a cash offer, and I would bring a creative financing offer. And I would figure out which one has of more interest to them. This is what I mean by doing the work. It's like we have a metal detector and we're out looking for gold. And when we find that little beep, 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 it's time to figure out what the seller might say yes to. And again, it takes work, lots of counters. Ty, you've been doing this for 30 years. You added a 6-hour masterclass to school. What are your thoughts on all this?
100%. I think this is definitely a market that really positions well for creative going forward. I think that this is the season. I've always believed, and I've always had in my 30 years of experience, from October, we're in July now, but literally from October to March, April, was kind of like a good time, because what happens is people are surrendered. Somebody who's trying to sell in the summer, they've done it. They may be on their second agent. It's not moving. It's September, it's October, November. They want to do it before the end of the year. I think that you're going to see lots of opportunities, both in creative, seller financing, hybrid, or even you were talking about that velocity mortgage where it's
50,
a
40, 10. Yeah.
50, 40, 10. I think where the seller can get a chunk of cash to make some maneuver, get into their smaller, whatever, right size place. I think all of that, you have to have those tools in the toolbox. And plus, I'm going to be doing a class for your school community live Sunday, July the 7th. And that's this next Sunday.
Wow.
6 days from now. And I think we're going to do it either 7 a.m. Pacific time or 8 a.m. Pacific time. I need to firm up family plans, but ultimately, we're going to talk about all that. Novations, sub 2, seller financing, hybrid, we're a combination of the velocity mortgage, 50, 40, 10. We're going to talk about creative ways that, or even maybe a lease option. Maybe some people are want to, let me drive before I buy. Let me move into the house and let's do a 3-year, 5-year lease option where you have the ability to lock in a price, but also test drive the house, So for some people that even might make sense, especially if you're doing a big move up into like a luxury product. That's not a bad idea either. So we're going to cover all of that in the school community on Sunday the 7th, July the 7th.
I can't, that's amazing. We're going to do it early. We are going to record it. So if you're not an early person or you have family plans, because it's, maybe doing a long weekend or whatnot, it will be recorded. Talking about school and recording, we got Matt, the mortgage guy, just did his second session inside school, talking all things mortgage. It is recorded. Thank you very much. And already posted. So if somebody wanted to see this recording, Matt, what are some of the questions that were talked about?
It was a whole kind of smorgasbord of different people doing different things. And that's what I want it to continue to be. I think that's the most, beneficial thing is, people are in there, and some, brand new investors, I had to pull them out of their shell and say, ask me something. What are you up to? Well, I'm new.
Yeah.
But, even if they're just in there listening, investors saying, here's what I've got going. I've got 3 4-plexes and we got a blanket loan on it. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do if we sell one, and then we just, refinance conventional with 2 of those. Any and all questions. Somebody who was on, the last Friday of the month at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I did it in June. I did it in whatever month comes before June, May. Excuse me, it's Monday morning, guys. And looked at stuff. Hey, I've got this DSCR loan. We're in contract. Here's what it looks like. I can relatively quickly look at that, know what the non-QM lenders that I work with are, and say, you're in good shape, 7.5% DSCR. And I think sometimes talking out loud about a deal, it might be me, it might be other investors that are on there, financial firefighter, Mark joins us on there, bounce ideas, and a 5 or 10 minute discussion for an investor with other investors might uncover, I didn't even think about that. Thanks, Mark. That's good input.
Yeah.
And so
that's the beauty of the school, community. This is my vision. And I think it's going to catch velocity and really start growing. It started with, hey, Zuber and a couple of his millionaires putting it out there. We've now got folks like both of you contributing monthly. We've gotten 6-hour master classes, 10-week boot camps. And now we have accountability groups, right? We have people running weekly accountability groups. Folks, if you want to be around other folks that are doing this, there is no better platform. $20 a month, join for a month. If you don't get value, cancel it. It's 2 lattes. Who cares? But trust me, my whole goal for the second half is to try to find a way to create meaningful sessions every week. I just did a session on Sunday where I went live and took all kinds of questions. I commit to do at least one of those a month. And dude, I'm so excited about school because of guys like you giving and contributing. So thank you, Ty. Thank you, Matt, for doing that. Ty,
so much fun with it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy. Ty, you and I, really you've been doing all this heavy lifting. I got to tell you, why don't you make the announcement? We have something happening on July 4th that you are, critical in. So what's coming on July 4th?
I love it. I am so excited that we have literally 4 episodes with 5 and 6 being edited now. Michael, I did some editors cuts and directors cuts and whatnot and helped out with some, storyline and things like that. Michael and Olivia did the hard work. They literally invited camera crews into their home, into their lifestyle, traveling with them. Michael on, speaking at conferences. This is going to be the behind the scenes at the One Rental at a Time. It's the new series. It's a series, like a reality TV show, all based on buy and hold investing. Michael and Olivia's story, the One Rental at a Time story. It is premiering. Episode 1 will premiere on July the 4th. Here, this is Thursday, July the 4th at, I believe, 6 a.m., 7 a.m.
6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. And also, it will be the only video that day. Usually, I post several videos. It will be the only video that plays that day.
And I want to explain what it is. Michael basically invited a camera crew behind the scenes into his home, into his life, to really show how him and Olivia created financial independence. So how beautiful, and we didn't time this, it's just the way the world works, the way that things line up. The premiere will be on Thursday, Independence Day. So financial independence, one rental at a time. It's the theme of everything Michael does. Him and Olivia, literally, you're going to see how they look at things, how they don't agree on everything, how they do agree on things, how Olivia is really a dynamic. I think Olivia steals the show. We don't see her very much. Has she ever really been on any of the podcasts like this?
Zero.
Never. So you're actually going to meet, the powerhouse, an absolute dynamo powerhouse, and how they, as a power couple, as a true team. A lot of times we think we always see Michael, but as a husband and wife, a team, how they actually go through this process. And so I am so proud and so excited of the work and what Michael has done. Brandon Heartfelt Productions, Jody from Vegas, Lisa Sutton, so many really good things. Michael, give your 2 cents.
I guess you'll see this right in the intro, and we have a sizzle reel that's out there. I believe nobody does buy and hold because it's not sexy. It doesn't catch your attention. So my whole vision when I signed up to spend about 10 grand, which is what this thing's going to cost me, and I'm not going to make any money because I've turned off the ads. So this is like total giving, burning 10 grand, was I'm hoping to make the process of learning a market sexy, because buying a rental, sticking a tenant in there, collecting rent's boring. But you know what? What happens if you go meet different people? Look at different assets. Like you just talk about Lisa and Joe. Joe gave us a layout of Vegas. He's been here 30 some odd years. He's on the board at Henderson, this or that. So just the guy to start with. Great family friend. Then Lisa Sutton, another dynamic real estate agent. She's been on my channel several times. She talks about something called condo hotels. We know nothing about condo hotels. So she was gracious enough to let us come to her office with Olivia and Heartfelt Productions to film a big conversation. So again, it's you can't make watching paint dry sexy, but maybe you can make the process of selecting the paint and doing all these. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I got to say, though, that you really show behind the scenes in your thought process. And I think the most dynamic thing is, I think a lot of people listening or watching right now, you have a significant other, a spouse, whatever, you have that person in your life, and that how they both play roles, but it doesn't necessarily, like we always see Michael's more on the front line. And then we have Olivia. You're just going to see some really cool dynamics. They cover in the series. They talk about ADUs. They talk about condo hotels. They talk about starting from scratch, going into Las Vegas as a brand new market with zero experience, and how they would start from scratch. So I think anybody and everybody interested in buy and hold, this is a must-watch series premiering on Thursday, 6 a.m. Pacific, Buying Vegas.
Folks, check out the series. Let us know what you thought. I do think Olivia steals the show. I think she is a powerhouse behind everything one rental at a time. I'm just clearly the mouthpiece. She is the engine that makes it go. So I'm glad that she will be the rock star. Matt, again, thank you for being a monthly contributor to School. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and get quotes and talk shop and hey, look at my, my quote. Well, how could they do that?
Come greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out the form. We're licensed in 48 states. We do a lot of business, so we're pretty good at it. Just closed out a record quarter, Q2. We did 210 loans for 704 million. So if that tells
the
you
strong
something,
are getting stronger. That's what I take away
exactly.
from
Yeah.
that.
And it's funny because the engine of the mortgage that nobody sees, like operation stuff, we continue to get better every day. It's one of our core principles. But go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out the form, get yourself pre-approved. It's part of doing the work. It's part of preparing yourself, is knowing your numbers, because without those, you're truly driving blind. And unfortunately, Mike, we can scream it from the rooftops. People are going to drive blind no matter how much we try to tell them not to. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, get the numbers squared away, then go out there and do the work.
Folks, if you're doing the work, you're in the class, you're part of school, you got to know your numbers. Matt, the mortgage guy, knows the deal. He'll talk to you early. He'll give you a framework. He's part of this. He's in school monthly for a reason, because I trust him, and he's done right by me for several years. So again, doesn't cost you anything to figure out the lanes and not travel blind. You and I have been doing this for 25 plus years. You've got 30 years on me. How excited are you personally for your personal portfolio to add a unit or two in the second half? Because it is going to be frozen.
Yeah, I just think, again, this is the time. It's in down markets that, for people that really understand it, it's down markets where a lot of money is made. It's slow markets, frozen markets, or even just complete bloodbath down markets. Even something we didn't mention, but even the multifamily space, especially not the big multi, but the 10, 15, 20 units, a lot of that stuff is going to be frozen. It's going to be harder to lend, which again, positions for seller financing, creative financing. So I just, I feel blessed and honored to be a part of your network, a part of your community. Folks, you're in the right place. This is our time we've been waiting for.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And if they wanted to send you an email, it's ty@tylg.com. You treat email like text.
I treat email like text, and 100% if you have listings that are broken, not selling, if you're in the Bay Area, even I don't care if you're not, if you just need some help, Bay Area or not, I'm still an active broker, 1031 exchanges. We list properties, we sell properties. We work with people in the Bay Area, Sacramento, Greater Central Valley. Love to help you. But even if you're out of the area and you're somewhere else, you're a one rental at a time community member, reach out. I'm here to help. Email me.
Awesome. You guys are amazing. Take care. We'll talk next week. Later.
Thanks, guys.